Welcome back to Golden Fortune Leo, where astrology drops the velvet curtain and starts talking like real life. This is not the kind of channel that hides behind glitter and mysticism. Here, we make the stars speak fluent human. And today, we're not predicting your future, we're decoding your frequency. If you've been walking around lately with the sense that something invisible has shifted, that time feels slower yet sharper, that the air itself seems to hum differently, you're not wrong. The next few days will feel very different for you, Leo. Not because the planets suddenly rearranged themselves in your favor, but because your own inner universe has started to tune itself more precisely. The noise is fading, and clarity is stepping forward. You are moving into a steadier, more deliberate rhythm, one that rewards focus over frenzy and substance over spectacle. This is not another horoscope trying to inflate your ego or pacify your fears. It's a calibration, a quiet test for the chosen ones of the Year of Triumph 2025. You, Leo, are being asked to master what used to master you, your attention, your emotion, and your sense of self-importance. Let's begin with what I like to call the silent evolution. For as long as history remembers, Leo has been the symbol of leadership and drama. The lion commands presence, the lion fills space. But this week, something unusual happens. The stage is no longer external. The theater moves inward. The crowd you must impress now lives inside your ribcage. The bravest thing you can do is not to roar louder, but to listen cleaner. The real test is whether you can handle your own silence without mistaking it for weakness. The universe is not punishing you by slowing things down, it is recalibrating your capacity to hold more light without overheating. Think of your body and mind as a system of circuits. More voltage is coming. The question is, can your current wiring handle the new wattage? When you stop reacting to every flicker around you, you begin to conduct more energy within you. The result feels like calm power, invisible to the casual observer, but magnetic to those tuned into the same frequency. You might notice that certain people, situations, or even routines suddenly feel heavier, as though the gravity around them increased overnight. That's because they're not matching your new calibration. Don't resist this separation. It's physics, not betrayal. Even small acts of order, sleeping on time, choosing one priority per morning, or saying no without explanation, start creating disproportionate returns. You're learning that self-care isn't the reward for balance, it's the foundation that makes expansion possible. The old Leo habit of over-explaining, over-performing, and collecting admiration like trophies now feels outdated, even exhausting. You're beginning to understand that when your energy stabilizes, you don't need to chase validation. You start attracting alignment. To a fire sign like you, stillness can feel like exile. But stillness is where the flame learns to focus. A laser, after all, is nothing more than disciplined light. And that's what you are becoming, not just bright, but precise. Power without control burns, power with awareness builds. Now, let's talk about what I call the universal rewrite. Ancient astrologers used to describe certain cosmic alignments as mirror transits, periods when life stops being metaphorical and starts becoming literal reflection. That's what you're in now. The universe isn't a teacher with a ruler in hand, it's a copy machine. Whatever tone you set internally gets printed out in the world around you. When you radiate frustration, you get static. When you radiate calm, doors open without knocking. Reality mirrors your nervous system. The joke here is cosmic but practical, the spiritual algorithm rewards coherence. If your energy is scrambled, your results will be too. If your energy is aligned, you become unreasonably lucky. It's not magic, it's resonance. This means mindfulness is not just a buzzword for you anymore, it's an operating system. You are not manifesting objects, you are manifesting reflections. Every conversation, every coincidence, Every silence is a feedback loop showing you where your frequency stands. So the next time you feel off balance, skip the dramatic question, "Why is this happening to me?" and ask instead, "What part of me is this mirroring?" The shift from blame to observation changes everything. It turns chaos into curriculum. It transforms confusion into data. The universe, in its eccentric humor, is never punishing you, it's simply updating your script until it fits your new character. This concept isn't new. In Buddhist practice, there is a word for this exact phenomenon, Vipassana, the art of seeing things as they truly are, without the filters of ego or expectation. It's less about detachment and more about honest seeing. When you practice Vipassana in daily life, you stop dramatizing every challenge as fate's vendetta against you and start noticing how much of your suffering is self-authored. It's humbling, yes, but also liberating. You start seeing that every emotional trigger is just a messenger wearing a costume, whispering, "Refine me, don't repeat me." That's enlightenment disguised as feedback. And let's be real, Leo, your sign has never been one for subtlety. You prefer fireworks to flickers, declarations to whispers. But the universe is now teaching you to find theater in silence, humor in imperfection, power in patience. You'll find yourself laughing at how seriously you used to take small things. A delayed text, a lukewarm compliment, a coworker's sigh, all once potential tragedies, now dissolve into background noise. That's evolution. The lion doesn't chase mice. And ironically, when you stop chasing, you attract more of what you were running after. This is the paradox of spiritual adulthood: control decreases, influence increases. The next few days are a mirror, Leo. They will reveal not who you were, but who you are becoming. You are no longer the performer craving the spotlight, you are the spotlight learning to stand still. The universe isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for participation. Pay attention. Laugh when it's absurd. Rest when it's heavy. And when the world starts echoing your inner tone, whether through opportunity, silence, or chaos, remember that you are not a victim of the reflection. You are the source of the light. So, as we begin this journey into your current transit, keep this simple mantra in your mind: refinement over reaction. You are not here to conquer the weak, you are here to calibrate it. Let the noise fall away. Let the ordinary moments become sacred. And remember, a lion doesn't need to announce that it's the king of the jungle. It simply walks, and the forest rearranges itself in respect. That's the energy you are stepping into now. That's the lesson of the chosen ones in the year of triumph 2025, mastery without drama, power without noise, warmth without apology. The rest will follow. The peacock has always been a fitting metaphor for Leo energy. It represents beauty, confidence, and visibility without apology. But the deeper truth, one that only time and maturity reveal, is that the peacock doesn't flaunt to be admired. It expands its feathers because that's what nature designed it to do. It's not arrogance, it's ecology. The same lesson now stands before you, Leo. Your radiance is not an act of vanity but an act of alignment. You don't need to justify being seen any more than the sun justifies rising. And if someone calls your light too much, it only means they haven't made peace with their own shadows. This is the moment to stop negotiating your wattage with spectators and start negotiating your schedule with yourself. The question isn't who can handle me, but where do I best invest my energy? As your frequency steadies, your social atmosphere begins to rearrange itself. Certain voices will grow quiet, not because of conflict, but because resonance has shifted. You are no longer tuned to every station, you've refined your channel. The people who remain are those whose presence doesn't drain but expand you, grounded friends, wise mentors, or perhaps a potential partner who doesn't confuse your confidence with competition. The universe doesn't send distractions to punish you, it sends mirrors to reveal how far you've evolved. The trick is learning to recognize reflection without mistaking it for rejection. When you understand that, detachment stops feeling cold and starts feeling clean. Now let's turn to psychology, the inner wiring of the king. Emotional regulation has always been Leo's Achilles heel. When your nervous system tilts, the world tilts with it. A dysregulated Leo can turn an ordinary inconvenience into a Shakespearean monologue before lunch. And that's fine once in a while, drama keeps life interesting, but too much reaction ruins rhythm. The truth is that reactivity wrecks timing faster than it damages reputation. You lose precision when you lose patience. So, here's your experiment. Before replying to that text that raises your blood pressure, breathe in slowly for 5 seconds, real seconds, not Leo seconds. Feel your feet on the ground, not your pride in the air. When gossip calls your name, practice the revolutionary act of silence. And when pride flares, try laughter instead of logic. Humor is your secret armor. It doesn't deny the ego, it disarms it. The moment you can laugh at your own fire, you control it instead of letting it consume you. You'll notice micro miracles, situations that once derailed you now dissolve within a breath. That's not weakness. That's mastery disguised as calm. Now, astrologically, the page of Pentacles governs this cycle, the apprentice, the one who works quietly on what others overlook. It's the opposite of spectacle, which makes it especially uncomfortable for a Leo who's used to fireworks. The page whispers a simple truth: small moves create big returns. This is a season of humble repetition, not heroic reinvention. Plant one seed and water it daily, not hourly. Stretch while the coffee brews. Send the email without overthinking it. Balance the budget even when it's tedious. The most spiritual act right now may look suspiciously like common sense. The cosmos measures readiness through consistency. You don't expand power through drama, you expand it through reliability. Think of this as strength training for your spirit. The gym of life is rarely glamorous, but it's where you build the muscle to carry your fire without burning down the room. Power expands quietly. You see, Leo, compound interest applies to everything, not just money, but energy, confidence, and discipline. Every small act of order is a vote for the version of yourself you're becoming. If that sounds boring, remember, the sun doesn't rush its orbit, yet everything lives because it stays on schedule. Discipline isn't restriction, it's proof that your future self can trust you. In a world addicted to speed and spectacle, stillness becomes a superpower. The mature Leo learns that the loudest roar is often silence timed perfectly. And now, we arrive at the moon's truth. Emotionally, this is where the story deepens. The moon archetype hovers near your chart, whispering what the sun would rather ignore. It's not here to haunt you, it's here to clear the fog. Some truths rise through others, while some emerge from your own reflection at inconvenient hours. You may hear a confession from someone close, or maybe the confession will come from your own lips when you finally stop performing for yourself. Don't panic. Confusion isn't failure. Mystery is the universe's form of mercy. It withholds information until you're stable enough to receive it without distortion. The moon doesn't compete with the sun, it reflects it. So when you feel dim, remember, your light hasn't vanished. It's simply bouncing back through other people, through synchronicities, through strange coincidences that seem almost funny once you notice them. Speaking of synchronicity, pay attention to repeating numbers, 26, 38, or whatever pattern keeps following you. The cosmos has a sense of humor. These aren't billboards screaming destiny, they're inside jokes between you and the divine. They mean, you're paying attention. Keep going. The chosen ones don't obsess over signs, they observe them. Obsession is insecurity wearing a halo. Observation is maturity wearing curiosity. The difference between the two is trust. Underneath all of this is a quiet challenge. Can you stay loyal to your rhythm when life stops applauding? When the moon dims and feedback disappears, can you still believe you're shining? That's the real initiation of the Leo archetype. The child performs for love, the adult radiates from love. And right now, the universe is upgrading you from performer to presence. Here's the paradox that every advanced Leo eventually learns: your visibility is not the goal. Your alignment is. The right audience will find you when your frequency steadies, not when your noise increases. When you live from authenticity, you become both lighthouse and learner, illuminating others while staying open to being illuminated. So if the next few days feel strange, quieter, slower, more inward, don't mistake it for stagnation. Think of it as your system buffering for an update. You're integrating what you've learned. You're rehearsing a new kind of power, the kind that doesn't demand validation. The world might not notice right away, but you'll feel it in subtle ways: the calm before response, the humor in a tense moment, the courage to say less. That's the evidence of growth. And when you catch yourself thinking, "Should I dim down so others don't feel threatened?" stop right there. The peacock doesn't close its feathers because pigeons are uncomfortable. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to balance out. And ironically, the more authentic you are, the less effort you need to shine. In the end, the message is simple but not easy: manage your nervous system, honor your small disciplines, and trust the moon's timing. You are evolving from spectacle into substance. The world will adjust. Laugh often. Breathe slowly. Keep your feathers open and your heart steady. The rest will unfold on schedule, and when it does, it will look less like destiny arriving and more like recognition, the universe finally catching up to what you've already become. Leos have always had a peculiar relationship with drama. It's not that you go looking for it, it just seems to find you the way lightning finds the tallest tree. You could spill coffee on your shirt in the morning and somehow turn it into a full 3-act tragedy about destiny, betrayal, and fabric softener. But by noon, you're the same person giving a stranger a pep talk in line at Starbucks, turning your own misfortunes into motivational theater. The universe watches this and, rather than judging, simply applauds. It loves that you experience life in high definition. But this week, it's teaching you that humor heals faster than meditation. Laughter is your best alchemy. It doesn't distract from pain, it expands your capacity to hold it. When you laugh at your own intensity, the ego loosens its grip. When you can make a joke about your flaws, you dissolve shame faster than 10 therapy sessions and a retreat in Bali combined. There's a strange kind of holiness in being able to say, "Yes, I am a majestic disaster, but at least I'm hydrated." That kind of humor doesn't erase pain, it gives it oxygen. Even the Buddha smiled before enlightenment. Maybe he realized that awakening isn't about transcending the mess, it's about finding grace in the middle of it. So, Leo, dance even if you step on your own feet. Grace was never about perfection, it's about rhythm after falling. Now, let's talk about love, because with Leo, we always end up there. Love isn't a subplot in your story, it's the entire script. Yet, in the year of triumph 2025, the tone of that script is shifting. The old narrative of passion mixed with chaos, attraction laced with rescue fantasies, it's losing its grip. What's arriving now is honesty, not intensity. If you're single, say this quietly to yourself: I don't chase love, I embody readiness. Because readiness is magnetic. It pulls in partners who meet you where you are, not where you used to settle. This new love doesn't look like Broadway, it sounds like jazz, two people improvising harmony instead of fighting for spotlight. It's smoother, more curious, and mutual. No more dramatic crescendos, just the subtle rhythm of connection between equals. If you're already in a relationship, the questions get sharper. Can your bond survive honesty? Can you both expand without competition? Can you celebrate each other's victories without shrinking? That's the new Leo curriculum: partnership as growth, not as stage lighting. Real love is when two souls can shine in the same room without one dimming to make the other comfortable. And if love feels delayed, don't let impatience masquerade as failure. Divine timing isn't punishment, it's protection. The universe withholds what would distract you and fast-tracks what would evolve you. It's less about waiting for the right person and more about becoming the right vibration. Then comes stillness, the quiet teacher. Around midweek, a strange silence descends. Texts stop arriving, projects slow down, and life seems muted. To a Leo, silence can feel like exile. You thrive on movement, on applause, on things happening. But this isn't punishment, it's software updating. The cosmic system goes dark before rebooting. You're not stuck, you're sinking. Your old rhythm can't carry your new frequency, and that's a good thing. This is what Buddhist philosophy calls the gap between breaths, the sacred pause between exhale and inhale, where transformation hides. Sit with it. Don't rush to fill the silence. Faith isn't the absence of doubt, it's the decision to keep walking when the map fades. That stillness you feel isn't emptiness, it's the space where your next self is forming. The climb has already flattened, your legs are just catching up. Sometimes peace feels awkward at first because you're used to adrenaline, but peace is what power feels like when it stops trying to prove itself. Spiritually, you're entering what I call the economy of energy. Attention is currency. Spend it wisely. You wouldn't hand your bank card to every stranger, yet many of us hand out our emotional energy to anything that blinks or buzzes. Guard your focus the way royalty guards a crown. Before reacting to something, ask yourself, is this worth my wattage? Not everything deserves the fire you carry. Energetic hygiene is as real as physical hygiene. Delete one useless argument. Skip one doom scroll session. Save your passion for purpose, not distraction. Because once you stop leaking energy through anxiety, your life begins to align with suspicious precision. It's not luck, it's coherence. The universe rearranges itself around steady people. And when chaos inevitably visits, smile. The cosmos is giving you a pop quiz before a promotion. It's not asking, are you strong enough, but are you still centered? The correct answer is usually a deep breath. By the end of this cycle, something profound happens. The lion who used to roar for recognition now moves in silence, and the world adjusts around that stillness. Charisma is easy, stability is rare. You've graduated from performer to presence. The stage is no longer a metaphor, it's your life, and the spotlight follows your calm, not your noise. That's the true essence of leadership, shaping the emotional weather in a room without needing to control the people in it. You'll notice it in subtle ways. Strangers pause when you enter. Conversations shift when you speak. Even your silence carries a weight that words can't match. This is not about dominance, it's about direction. You've stopped chasing validation because you no longer need proof of your worth. You've stopped auditioning for affection because you finally believe you deserve love without performing for it. This is what maturity looks like for Leo, not a dulling of color but a refinement of brilliance. You're no longer a firework burning fast and loud. You're a hearth, steady and warm, capable of sustaining light over time. The world doesn't need more explosions, it needs more constellations. You've reclaimed authorship of your story, and it reads differently now. There's humor in your humility, wisdom in your restraint, and quiet authority in your presence. You don't need to announce that you've evolved. The people who need to feel it already do. And those who don't? They were tuned to a frequency you've long outgrown. So as you step into this new rhythm, remember that laughter is still your compass, stillness is your strength, and attention is your most valuable asset. The universe isn't testing you anymore, it's trusting you with peace. And that's the most flattering compliment a Leo could ever receive, that you no longer need the stage to prove the sun is shining. You've become the light itself, steady, generous, and impossible to ignore. What comes next is not another lecture but application, the quiet practicum where wisdom stops sounding clever and starts moving your feet. The universe will keep handing you small, ordinary moments that ask a simple question: can you do what you know without the drum roll? Can you pivot instead of push when resistance shows up? Can you act when opportunity arrives without turning it into theater? Can you meet projection with calm rather than correction? And the more you breathe, the faster you align, because regulation beats revelation every time. You're not rewriting a script anymore, you're inhabiting it, discovering that the sacred hides entire pressure checks, grocery lines, playlists that shuffle to the perfect lyric, and random texts that land at the exact minute your resolve wobbles, which is another way of saying enlightenment for a Leo is learning to find divinity while parallel parking, laughing at the absurd choreography of a cosmos that keeps timing the green light to your best thought. And if the phrase chosen ones once made you roll your eyes, consider this cleaner definition: the chosen are not anointed by fate, they are tuned by frequency, self-selected through discipline, humor, and clarity, people who trip, reflect, and keep going, who turn heartbreak into curriculum and wear the crown tilted, not broken, because they finally understand that the spotlight blinds only when you haven't integrated what it reveals. And by late 2025 your energy feels less like a performance and more like a presence, less about proving and more about being, a steadier wattage that warms rooms instead of scorching them. In plain English, your power this week lives not in volume but in composure, not in how loudly you shine but in how calmly you radiate. And the year of triumph 2025 is less about conquering others than reclaiming yourself from distractions that pretend to be urgent. So your next chapter begins not with applause but with alignment, the air tasting sharper, colors looking cleaner, people responding to you in ways that expose their own weather systems. Some admire, some project, both are mirrors, and because the universe rarely punishes and almost always reflects, you can stop personalizing turbulence and start reading it, remembering that when someone resists your light they are advertising their shadow, and the sun never apologizes for daylight. So keep your working mantra simple and lived rather than posted. Be the light you used to seek. Stop waiting for alignment and practice being alignment. Stop chasing signs and start recognizing them. Stop demanding love and start radiating it. Stop performing peace and start rehearsing it until your nervous system believes you. And when night stretches long, remember it is not an enemy but a reflection. Even the moon borrows your light, and you have already survived the hard chapters, the identity storms, the costume changes that left you wiser than you were brave enough to admit, which means what follows is practice, the art of living well without announcing it, laughing often without explaining it, carrying that unmistakable Leo warmth that turns existence into art without exhausting yourself for applause. Treat your attention like currency because it is. Spend it on what compounds sleep that arrives on time, a body that moves daily, one priority chosen each morning and finished before the world starts auditioning for your focused elite, one pointless argument, skip one doom scroll, retire one story about being behind, and notice how quickly reality starts arranging itself with suspicious precision, a consequence not of luck but coherence. When chaos visits, as it occasionally must to keep you iterative, smile at the pop quiz before the promotion, inhale for 5 honest seconds, exhale your pre-written monologue, and let the moment shrink to its true size, because the lion who learned stillness discovered the rarest charisma of all, stability, and that is why strangers pause when you enter and conversations settle when you speak, and even your silence has its own gravity, not Bika.